Hola, hola. Today's lesson is going to discuss using pronouns with commands. You've seen in your review of pronouns that they are used in a regular sentence to avoid repetition. Your mom wants you to clean your room. She tells you in a command this time, clean your room, clean your room, clean your room, but wants to, for the 10th time, avoid repeating your room again. So she uses a pronoun instead. She says, clean it. The placement of pronouns differs with an affirmative and a negative command. Unlike in a regular sentence, the pronoun goes before the verb. You're going to see the rules here for affirmative commands. What do you do with a pronoun when you're using an affirmative command? Bullet point 2 says the placement rules apply to pronouns used together with commands are as follows. For affirmative commands, the pronoun is attached to the end of the verb. Attached to the end of the verb, you are going to make a word longer by attaching the pronoun at the end. Most times you'll need an accent mark, a written accent mark, in order to maintain the correct emphasis and pronunciation. When am I supposed to add that accent mark and where? When first and then where? In a one-syllable command, think about the 8 irregular to affirmative commands, ten, ven, sal, pon, di. Those are one-syllable commands. You only add a written accent mark when you are applying 2 or more pronouns to the end of the verb. In a or more 2 or more syllable command, you're going to add an accent mark whenever you add 1 or more pronouns. Okay? So in a one-syllable command, when the verb is only one syllable, you add accent marks when there are 2 or more two pronouns. And with a 2 or more syllable command, you're going to add an accent mark whenever there is an application of 1 or more pronouns. Okay? How do you know where to put the accent marks? You will first cover up the pronouns at the end of your verb with your finger. Let's say you're writing those down. Write the verb, attach the 2 pronouns together. At the end, make sure you're following the RID rule. Put them in the order reflexive, indirect, direct. Cover those pronouns up, and then count back 2 syllables in the verb. You're going to break your verb into syllables. You are looking for the second to last syllable. Put an accent mark over the vowel in that second to last syllable. Whoops. What happens when there are 2 vowels in that second to last syllable? Then you must use this rule to help you differentiate where the accent mark goes. The vowels U and I are weak vowels. So when they are paired with another vowel, they're the weaker of the 2 and are not strong enough to carry the accent mark. Vowels A, E, and O are strong. When there are 2 vowels, A, E, and O will be strong enough to carry the accent mark. For whatever reason, I picture these vowels as being alive somehow and having muscles on their arms, and U and I happen to be weak. They need to hit the gym a little bit more. A, E, and O are strong. They've got super muscles. They are strong enough to carry the to carry the accent on the top of themselves. And this only applies when there are 2 vowels in that second to last syllable. If there's only 1 vowel, you just put it there, okay? Put the accent over the vowel. If there are 2, then remind yourself of U and I. On the rare occasion that you find yourself with 2 strong vowels, it just means you counted wrong. So you'll have to separate those syllables because a strong vowel equals its own syllable. Okay? So what have we seen so far? We're going to summarize our affirmative commands with pronouns rules with the triple A in the left-hand corner. A. Affirmative commands attach the accent, the pronouns, and add an accent. Let me try that one more time. First A for affirmative commands. Second A for attach the pronouns. third A for add an accent mark. Affirmative, attach, accent. Affirmative commands attach the pronouns to the end and add an accent mark where it's needed, over the vowel in the second to last syllable. Now I have a few examples for you that I'd like to use to illustrate the AAA RID rule, accent marks, and placement of pronouns. Here you have 1, 2, 3, 4 examples that will walk us through what to do with these types of commands. In the pink sticky note, usted command, that means I yo drop swap. Here's my information. Pagar la cuenta, por favor. Pay the bill, please. I'm going to take out la cuenta and just say pay it. Instead of repeating la cuenta, pay it, please. La, I take and I attach to the end of my conjugated verb. You should see here, pague, that's my yo drop swap. It's a gar verb. I attach my pronoun to the end, but now I'm missing the third A. I've got my affirmative command, I've attached my pronoun, but I need my accent mark. And I grab my handy dandy pen here. I'm going to make it red. Pagela. The rule says to cover up my pronoun, so I cover up the la, pretend it's not there. Divide page into syllables. I'm going to divide it into syllables. Pa, ge. Ge is my first syllable. Pa is my second to last syllable. Remember, you've got to count from the end. You're looking for the second to last syllable. So ge would actually be my first. Pa would be my second to last syllable. And the rules tell me to put the accent mark right here over the vowel in the second to last syllable. Good. Let's work on the second example. To command, this looks like an affirmative command. They're all affirmative. So my to affirmative for hacer is haz. It's one of the irregulars. Do the homework. Haz la tarea. Do it. I'll take out la tarea, replace it with la. Do it is what I want to say. In my notes, it tells me when I have a one-syllable command, I only add an accent mark if I have two pronouns. Here I have a one-syllable command and one pronoun. Leave it alone. Do not add any accent marks here. Leave asla as it is. Do it. As an example, again, of a single syllable command, we're going to use the verb ponerse el suéter. Your mom tells you before you leave the house on a cold day, put on your sweater. Poner, se. Poner changes to pon. Se in a to command changes to te. El suéter becomes lo. Póntelo. If I go back to my notes, I've got a one-syllable command now with two pronouns. How do I find where I put my accent mark? I cover up the pronouns. That's te and lo. Two pronouns. Cover them up. All I'm left with, one syllable, is pon. So the accent mark must go here on the O. Póntelo. Put it on, meaning the sweater. Last example here uses the verb empezar. Your teacher tells you all start your homework at 10 o'clock. Empezar is a stem changing verb, so when I conjugate it in the ustedes form, it's going to become empiecen. La tarea, I don't want to use that noun anymore. I'll use a pronoun to replace it. Begin it, meaning begin the tarea. How do I find where to put the accent mark? Empiecen is clearly a two-syllable command, more than two syllables actually, and it has one pronoun, la, for la tarea. How do I find where to put the accent mark? Cover up the pronouns, count backwards two syllables from the end of the verb, add an accent mark on the vowel in the second to last syllable. So I'm going to cover up la. I'll divide my verb empiecen into three syllables. Empiecen. Empiecen. This is my first syllable. This is my second to last syllable. Wait a minute. I've got two vowels here. I have two vowels in my second to last syllable. Do I just eeny, meeny, miny, moe, randomly pick one? Oh, it looks cuter here or there. Nope, there's a rule for that. If you're stuck with two vowels in that second to last syllable, put the accent mark over the strong vowel. You and I are weak. Remember that. You and I are weak. So we'll go in here. I've got an I. I can't put the accent mark there. So I must put the accent mark over the E. Empiecenla. Over the E. English E. Okay? Let's take a few minutes to do some affirmative to commands practice. This is the section just below in your notes. Take each of the verbs, identify the direct object pronoun, the indirect object pronoun, take the commands, put it in its command form, then make sure, double check, you've got the AAA rule, you've got the RID rule followed, you've got all of your rules followed in order to create this command. Take a moment to complete these 3 examples, and then we will check them together. You may pause the video now and restart it when you're ready to check. What I like to do before I even start conjugating, attaching, adding accent marks is I like to define my terms. I like to look at my phrase or sentence, and I like to identify all the parts of speech. Here is my subject. I'm going to label it S, subject. Comprar is my verb. El libro. I'm actually going to use a specific color for this one. El libro, highlighted. Oh, that's icky. Undo. I'm going to put it in a box then. El libro answers the question who or what is going to receive directly the verb. What is being bought? The book. By whom is it being purchased? Or for whom? Para nosotros. You're looking for an a with a name and a para with a name, or a reference to a group of people to find your indirect object. Direct object answers who or what. Those are the things you're going to take out and replace. These are going to be the things that you supplement or add. Okay? So now in order to form my answer, my response, I want to say comprar in the to form, which makes it the he, she form. Compra, there's my verb. Okay. Now what do? How do I make the pronouns attach the proper way that they need to? I need to follow the RID rule first. I must come first. My indirect object for nosotros, nos. My direct object for el libro, lo, it. I, it for us is the command. Where do I put the accent once I've completed the second A attaching? Accent mark, cover up my pronouns. These are your pronouns. Cover those puppies up. Take compra and divide it into syllables. You've got compra. Pra is your first. Com is your second to last syllable, and the accent mark goes there, right over the O. Now I'll do the same for the second example. Usted is my subject. This is how I know how to conjugate my verb. Prestar is the verb, to borrow. Excuse me, to lend. El papel is what I need this person to lend. Who do I need them to lend it to? To me. Lend me some paper is what I want to say. Okay? So your direct object, el papel, indirect object, a mí. I'll take my verb, conjugate it, preste, lend. Now I need my indirect object, me, direct object following the RID rule, préstemelo, préstemelo. If you can naturally hear where the accent mark goes, then put it where it goes. Otherwise, you're going to use your cover up the pronouns rule, divide the verb into syllables, preste, Pres is your second to last syllable. We've only got one vowel in that syllable. Accent goes over the E. Préstemelo, lend it to me. The it being el papel. Okay, we're going to look at the last example together now. I've got my subject is ustedes. Dar is my verb. I think I actually changed this one to los regalos. Let's fix that. Regalos are more exciting, much more exciting than periódicos. Regalos. ¿A quién? A ellos. Okay, now it's better. Los regalos answer what is being given. A and a name or a group of people tells me to whom they are going to be given. I'll take my verb dar, put it in the ustedes form, makes it den. A ellos becomes the indirect object pronoun les. Los regalos, them, the gifts. Denles los looks yucky tucky. It should, because it's not right. We have to follow the don't lelo in Mexico rule. Les, our indirect object pronoun, needs to be changed to se. You can never have two pronouns next to each other. Dios mío, ¿qué hice? What did I do? You can never have two pronouns next to each other that both begin with the letter L. Les, los. You know Spanish likes to flow, and this is too rocky. So you must change your indirect object pronoun, which is les, representative of ellos. Change it to se. Cover up your pronouns. Put the accent mark on the vowel and the only syllable in the verb. Dentelos is an example of a one-syllable command that has attached two pronouns. To continue on with negative commands, we formulate things a little bit differently. The notes section gives away the answers a little bit, but we need to know the rule. For negative commands, pronouns go before the verb and after the no. In a negative command, the pronouns go in the order of the RID rule, before the verb and after the no. So much like they are used in a regular sentence. Again, you can identify all of your parts of speech. Tú is my subject, comprar is my verb. El libro is what I want this person to buy. Para nosotros is for whom I would like them to buy it. When I rewrite my command, don't buy it for us. This one's wrong. All right. So by the magic of television, I have completely edited what I just shared with you. So here are the correct phrases that we should be using. Tú is our subject again. Decir is our verb. These are all negative commands. So we're going to, tú negative is a yo drop swap. Mentiras is our direct object. Mentiras are what I don't want you to be telling. Don't tell lies is what it says. Okay. I've got to include my no. It's a negative command. That's where I'll start. No. Then I will place my pronouns. Mentiras, las mentiras. No las digas. Do not tell them. Do not tell them lies. No las digas. Your pronoun goes before the verb. Let's continue with the second example. I'm going to label my parts of speech, subject, verb. What do I not want these people to read? This person should not read the book. To whom? To them. Must be a terrible book. I'm going to take my negative command, start with a no. Now I've got a direct object and an indirect object. If I follow the RID rule, I go with the indirect first. Indirect starts a ellos as les, but we can't le, lo. We need to make sure that we change it. So no se lo lea. Do not read it, the book, to them, a ellos. Last example here. We've got ustedes is our subject. That's how we conjugate the verb. Our verb is reflexive. So be careful here. You've got a reflexive pronoun already attached there. You're also going to see los zapatos, which is your direct object. What is it that I don't want these people to put on themselves? Don't put the shoes on yourselves. No, for negative commands. Now I need my pronouns before I can even get into any verb conjugations. So before I can do anything with poner, I've got to take my rid rule. First, I'm going to put se as my reflexive pronoun for my subject ustedes. Then I add los for los zapatos. Now I yo drop swap. No se los pongan. Don't put them, the shoes, on yourselves. No se los pongan.